All right, we're rolling. All right, thanks everyone for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. I got my co-host Robert Beninati here.
Hey, what's going on?
So what we're going to get into today is who inspires us. And I'm going to start off with Robert because I kind of catch him off guard with these titles. Besides me, who is inspiring you? Or who's distracting you is what I should say. Who do you got? Who do you got here?
Where do I start? I think I want to stay, first of all, maybe my dad, number one.
Right.
All right? Like most of us, maybe.
For sure. Our parents.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything he did and, how he got where he got to and how he did it, really inspired me and made me the man I am today. If you're looking for a more, I don't know how to say this, but maybe use a celebrity as inspiration. I mean, there's so many people out there.
Right.
That you can learn from and be inspired and motivated. And nowadays, I know it's become very common to see, with all the social media, Instagram, these short videos of like Will Smith, Matthew McConaughey. Who else?
What about your Dane buddy over there, Power Broke? You like Dane? Because I know you, or Diamond John, I'm sorry, or whatever the hell.
Yeah, Damon John, or, the Grant Cardones and the,
your Ferris
Zig
dude.
Ziglars and
you like Ferris, don't you? Like those guys?
Tim Ferriss, yeah, in the sense of, the way he sees business, his perspective on life, how he simplifies and automates things, yes.
How about that other guy, the 10 times guy? What's his name?
Yeah, Grant Cardone.
That's what you said earlier, right?
Yeah,
See, I don't follow these guys like you, the 10X thing.
The 10X guy, how he 10X's everything, so everything is extreme if you want extreme results. So I think, there's a lot of people out there that you could look into and take the best or take whatever resonates with you and make it your own.
I've had a wacky thing going as far as who inspires me. And it's been, years ago, it would be like somebody like Quentin Tarantino, obviously Martin Scorsese, those, because I love making films.
Yeah, you're in the film industry side. No?
Yeah, I was kind of obsessed with what they were doing, reading books on them, all different types of directors and producers and even actors, athletes. That's
what I'm going to say. It depends on your industry, right? So if you're talking about films, you're talking about these guys. If you're talking about, let's say, you like, bodybuilding or, weight training.
Right.
You got the Arnold, the
right, Franco.
Cutler. Whoever,
Cutler,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're in business, it's on the business side.
Yeah, right.
So it just depends who. And there's a difference between who inspires you and being a fan.
Exactly.
You see, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fanatic. It's hard for me to just, think someone's a god or, whatever, and just be blindsided by whatever they do and buy every single product they put out, like The Rock. I mean, you got people out there that whatever he puts out, they're just fanatics, right?
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. The guy has an amazing story,
Right.
$7.
In his pocket or whatever?
In his pocket when he came back from, where was it, Canada, that he got, thrown out from the football team, gets to the airport or whatever, he looks, puts his hand in his pocket and realizes he only has...
Yeah, he's broke.
Like $6 and change, like $7.
Yeah.
And he's broke. And so, like I said, for me, inspiration comes from different people, and I take whatever resonates with me and make it my own.
I think you have immigrant... maybe grandparents, you were, like that. I think if we look back, those were really the guys, I think, now that I'm in my 50s, thinking back, like who really inspired me. The stories of my grandparents coming over from Italy, a majority of them, and what they went through, right? But lately, this sounds weird, and I was never a huge fan of him in college football, Tebow.
Yeah.
So for a long time, I kind of been secretively following him. I don't know what it is, and I'm not saying I'm a hardcore Christian, even though I was raised in a very strong Catholic household, but Tebow, like the things he does, like his programming, I think is absolutely amazing. Even putting religion aside, like what he's always doing as far as helping others. Children, it seems authentic. He's always kind of stuck to who he truly is, regardless of the backlash, college, pro, even trying to be, just being genuine to himself. Whatever he feels like going after, he just really goes after.
Yeah.
Even if someone's saying, what the hell are you doing? Why are you trying to play baseball now, hypothetically?
He follows his heart. You know, he does what he
Yeah.
does.
Even when he got cut from football, a lot of people thought he shouldn't have. Maybe some thought he should. It was just. But I watch him on. I see out of anyone I watch on, or follow, I should say. I don't know if it's Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube. The things he does for kids, and how he travels and tours and tries to help. Just he has benefits for them. Food drives, but to me it's so authentic. I don't know how to explain it. I think about it and say, God, a lot of times I think everything's a scam, like a lot of people, especially if you're a celebrity. I don't care if it's what it is. You're doing things to.
You don't know what to believe. You know, we see whatever we're fed.
Yeah, I like how he incorporates his parents, his religion. I just like, out of anyone for years, I'm like, and what's interesting is I never truly, and I was in Florida. I wasn't a big Gator fan. But if I looked at anybody, I would say over a long period of time now, I've secretively admired him. And I don't know how to explain. That's just a weird thing I never talk about on my YouTube channel or my podcast. If I'm talking about fitness, I'm always usually talking about different people related to that. If I'm talking about film or fashion, I could be talking about different, designers or whatever the case may be. So do you have a secret one that no one knows about?
No, I don't.
No?
Again, no, because that makes me feel like I'm a fanatic. Like,
really interesting.
Yeah. So I celebrities, for me, I respect them.
Yeah.
Right. If I see them in the street, I see them in a restaurant, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't bother them. It's they do what they do. They're good at what they do. You know.
Yeah.
They act out whatever role they're told to act.
Right.
And that's it. I don't. They're a human. Why bother?
I agree.
Why bother them? I wouldn't.
I kind of let it come to me, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, I've never read, I don't even know if Tebow has a book, but I'll read Tom Brady's book, which is quite interesting. And I think Tebow may have. I
think Tebow has actually 4 books or 6 books.
I never even knew that.
So you're not a true fan, then?
No, not at all. See, I only see him when he pops up. Like, that's what's interesting. Like, say Tom Brady, hypothetically, his book came out and I read his book. I don't follow anybody I like bits and pieces of everyone, if that makes sense. But there's small things about everybody that I look up to, believe it or not, even if I know you personally or I know if you're a celebrity or whatever. It's not the whole.
Anyone can inspire you, right? We're using or we're naming big names or famous people, right?
Right.
But again, anyone could inspire you.
For sure.
A child, an older person, anyone, sitting at Starbucks.
Yeah. Could be our own kids. Could be anybody, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you ever, there's a lady over here she's always on Turkey Lake, the blonde homeless lady.
Yes.
I mean, she's been there for years.
No, she doesn't want help.
She doesn't want help.
No.
And I've tried many times, not just talking about it on the podcast, to give her money. I don't care if it's $20. And I know her. Like, it's not like she knows me because I've been here for so long. Cruising past her, stopping. What's going on? You want some Chick-fil-A or whatever, cash? Refuses it.
Yeah.
I don't know if she gets help from the state or whatever, but it blows me away how I'm brokenhearted for her, but how she survives. And I don't know if she gets help somewhere else, but it looks like it's like that's her home on a corner. It's very interesting.
She sits on that sidewalk under the shade there and just for hours.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And then I'll have somebody who I know isn't homeless in Orlando because I know her as well, going back 10, 12 years, and I just ran into her outside a restaurant. And she came walking, and I knew who she was. She begs for money. She's been doing it for 12, 13 years, and I know even what type of car she drives. I know she is. She's not
homeless.
She's not. And because I used to do valet at Point Orlando, and she'd always be over there. We had to talk to her, and you build a friendship with her. Besides just that, you're talking and other people, and then she's walking, and I know, and she didn't recognize me because I had like a leather coat on and stuff and whatever. And she comes up and she goes, "Oh, sir," with the pitch. And I said, "You know who you're talking to?" I said, "It's Rich." She's like, "Oh, God, I'm so sorry." I said, "That's all right. Here's some money." And Rhea was like, "Do you know this homeless woman?" Not to get on the homeless thing, but I'm kind of sometimes brokenhearted. And at times, regardless if you look up to him or not, like, who's bullshitting me? Who isn't? Who's a con artist, right? It's nowadays.
I've seen people, at the stoplight, right?
Yeah.
And they're walking from the light, against traffic.
Yes.
Right, when you stopped. And, they're limping around, whatever. And as soon as the light changes and they get on the sidewalk, they walk right back to the light to the corner at a normal pace.
Yeah.
They put their sign away. I'm like, these are the reasons sometimes I'm very weary of who I help out.
Yeah.
On the streets, because you never know. And then you never know their stories. I've heard so many different stories of people that choose.
It's crazy.
They just choose to be there. Like, even if you try to
of
help
course,
them
tons.
and give them a job, or tell them, show up tomorrow, 8 a.m., and I'll pay you a salary, they won't show up. I
have family members that ended up, more than one, a couple that even died homeless. I have a massive family, and as much as you tried to help them on the south side, actually in Cicero, my family member passed away in the south side of Chicago, and I love them guys. And one of them even used to work out with me, and then they would just disappear and drugs were involved. Yeah. But what's interesting with my emotional, I guess you could say, barometer is a lot of people will inspire me to create all the things I create. And then it's interesting when I see someone homeless or something else, or even if we're downtown, because we are a lot with my buddy living there, and it like sucks the wind out of me. It like breaks my heart. It almost shatters me. Yeah. Anyways.
Sometimes you just got to shake it off and say they are there because they choose to.
Right.
A lot of them are mentally ill.
Yeah.
Right. Others are just have stories. They were millionaires, or they had great jobs. They lost their family, and they gave up on life. I mean, there's so many different stories and reasons. And sometimes you just can't help everyone, even if you try.
It's crazy. You wonder if and I used to think sometimes, or my friends would be like, you inspire me when I was younger, say to work out or whatever I was doing. I was making a lot of money in your youth. I'm talking late teens, cars, all that. And then on the other end, I was like, or was I a bad influence? Because I wasn't.
You could be both.
I was kind of both, I think, to a certain degree, because my friends would get wrapped up in my lifestyle, and a lot of times they couldn't afford that lifestyle, or they couldn't keep up, or they would do a lot of stupid things within my world. And as much as I think they say I inspired them, I'm like, I kind of destroyed you.
Well, you inspired them in a negative way. Let's put it like that then.
Right, to a certain degree. Like, they took things and went negative, too, with it. Like, Right? Because if you're making money in one way, they want to make it, and they're not doing what you're doing, or they want to live a certain lifestyle. It could be drinking, could be even introducing them to certain people that are doing a lot of things. That could be illegal or illegal. Traveling. And I always said, was I inspiring them or destroying them? And I wanted to do a podcast with a group of my buddies one day and kind of go through each one of that. Not just because of me, but because of one another. Because when we get together, it always sounds like it was so great.
And see their side of the story?
Yeah, it was great. A lot of things, but we don't talk about all the things that we went through that kind of were destructive for a lot of us. And that can be jail. That could be not only DUIs, but a lot of things that we all went through. It could be even divorces and all these things. So sometimes you don't know if you're inspiring someone or destroying them. Anyways. All right, my man. What are we at? 13 minutes. We're going to wrap it up here. We're going to do some with you.
Let's go. Let's do it.
You ready to kick it in the ass? All right. If you want to check out Robert's podcast, Real Business, it's really cool, actually. He's got him up on YouTube. Anything else you want to mention about yourself?
No, that's it, man. I mean, just, find me, Real Business Podcast. I'm all over the place. Just Google it. And they can find me on your page, actually. We've done a couple of podcasts. Yeah,
I've been posting what's today, the 5th of January? So I'm going to be doing a bunch with Robert this year, and I think I'm coming up on 500. So if you've been listening to any of my podcasts, thank you very much. Yeah. And Robert's actually just started his, but he's working on so many things. So he does different type of guests, obviously. I just usually do myself or certain people, but he's got some really good people on his podcast, no bullshit. I really believe it. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Take care.